Good afternoon. My name is Luisela Sugalski. I'm the job coach from National Service Center and also part of the Department of Employment Services. Today's video, we are going to be talking about a new partnership that we have in our department. And this is an organization that is called Bayada Home Health Care. And Vanessa Madrid, she is a member from the Department of Human Resources. So she works as a bilingual recruitment manager. She is bilingual, fully bilingual in English and Spanish, and she works for the Philadelphia office for this nonprofit organization. And while her previous experience is as working in nonprofit organizations as well. Today, she will be talking about Bayada, what Bayada is in the services that they provide, as well as the roles that they're hiring at this moment, how the hiring process is, and last but not least, the onboarding process of Bayada. So thank you so much for joining me today, Vanessa. I'm very excited about this video.
Me too. I'm definitely excited for the partnership as well. It's very exciting. Very nice to meet you and meet a couple members of NSC already, which have been great so far. You know, they've actually successfully finished the onboarding process and are hopefully going to start working next week.
Well, yeah, I know that's great news. And I'm actually very, very excited because I know now that with this partnership with you guys, it's going to be another opportunity for the NSC clients to, to have another employer and a good employer to work for it. So it's very important for not only for me, but for the department itself that we have you now as another partner in another option, whether the client is looking for his or her first job, or he or she is looking for a job upgrade. So I do think like the best way we can start this conversation is by talking about Bayada and what Bayada is, and if you can give us a little bit of information about what your organization is about.
Of course. So I'm going to start sharing, my PowerPoint. I'm going to start using that. So just a little bit about Bayada. So for over 45 years, Bayada has provided many services, nursing, rehabilitative, therapeutic, hospice, assistive care to children, adults, and seniors. We provide quality care in the comfort of our clients' homes, assisted living, or senior residential communities. We employ more than 30,000 employees in over 23 states. And we have 360 locations. So we have various locations. In 2018, our founder, Mark Bayada, transitioned Bayada to a nonprofit organization to provide and ensure that we're still living, the Bayada way. That's his vision. So that's, compassion, reliability, and excellence. That's the way Bayada decides to, provide care. That's how we obtain our quality. So recruiting and building caregiver teams. So Bayada is always hiring healthcare professionals to join our team of compassionate, trusted caregivers. The demand is always high for home care. As we see now, home care, we're essential workers. So we are constantly growing. We're constantly hiring and looking for great people to work for Bayada. And as the community continues to grow, so will the need of employment. So we will be hiring even more people. So a little bit about our hiring process. So usually as a recruitment manager, when I get a resume, I do tend to look at your resume and then I'll give you a call. We'll do a phone interview. We'll just go over your qualifications, your experiences. You can tell me a little bit about yourself, what area you're living, because Philadelphia is big. So sometimes, I can direct you to wherever you need to go if perhaps, let's say you work in Delaware. Today I'm in Delaware, one of the Delaware offices. So anywhere that you live, anywhere that, it's close to you, would be able to, accommodate you. So we do face-to-face interviews, or during right now with the pandemic, we're also doing virtual interviews. So that's something that a lot of recruiters have adapted to. We'll send out a link and we'll, just like me and you are right now, we'll have a face-to-face interview. I will ask after the phone interview if you would feel comfortable coming in, and I'll offer the option of doing it virtually. So depending on what your preference is, I'll set aside a time for you to come into the office and meet with me. After everything is done and we decide to proceed with employment, we'll be verifying your work references and going over your clearances. So I'll be doing a background check, child abuse clearance, and we do FBI fingerprinting. Those are the three things that we do. So once we get that done, I get positive work references from past employers or even coworkers if we need personal references. Once all that's complete, I'll have you come in, you'll meet with a nurse, or you'll start class. So depending on your experiences. So even if you don't have the experience in home care, we do offer a free training that we offer to a lot of candidates to get the experience and the skills needed to work for us. So that's something that we do offer. It is a 1-week training. Or if you do have the experience, we also, we do skills. We do skills with the nurse where she'll just do an overview to see where you are, to see if you need any, brush up on anything. And then we get into orientation. So orientation is the final step of the onboarding process. That's where we'll discuss how to clock in, how to clock out. We'll go more into your benefits and, the perks for working for Bayada. And usually that's the time when we set you out with shifts. So you'll meet with a supervisor, they'll assign shifts to you, and you can start working. So that's usually how the hiring process goes.
Okay.
So this is just a little more information about that 1-week class I was talking about. It is offered in our office. So that is in Philly, in Center City. We do offer that free 1-week class for home care for people who maybe want to get into home care but never had the experience. All home health aides have a clinical manager, that's a nurse, and they're there to support you always. So usually we have a clinical educator that does the class. And when you go out to do your first shift, you'll have a nurse that'll be there to go over care plans and go over everything and any concerns you may have. So you'll always have the support of a nurse. Bayada does have many nurses that work for each office that are available to you and your clients, throughout the whole process. So you'll never be alone. So the direct hires that we do have, they have to have at least 1 year of home care experience. So that's how we do our direct hires. If you do not
have the direct hire is only available for those candidates who have previous experience working as caregivers or aides.
Yes. So anything in home care that, anything as a caregiver for 1 year, it has to be verifiable experience. So it has to be somewhere we can actually, call the agency or facility and verify that you work there. So I understand some people have, like a private care or something like that. So unfortunately with that, it has to be verifiable experience in order to count for direct hire. Interviewing and finding the right fit. So we're always looking for people who embody the Bayada way, which is compassionate, reliable, excellent in caregiving. We like to learn about a candidate's hobbies, preferences, values, so we can match them to our clients. This is something that I do in our interview. I would like to learn a little bit about you because we have clients who want someone who is maybe, like them. We do try to match perfectly with clients and aides or employees. We also try to match caregivers to their zip code. So that's one of the things we do in our offices, depending on where you live. We're not going to be sending you out too far. We try to give you something that's, within your zip code or within a certain area, so you don't have to travel as much, because we do want you to, be providing the best service possible to our clients. And, sometimes you may have more than one, so it'll all be in the same area. We do look for candidates who show professionalism in their attire, their behavior, and have good work experience or, work ethic. That's what we're looking for when hiring. How to join the Bayada team. So if you want any more information about any job in Bayada, you can go to jobs.bayada.com and search for your jobs in your city. Since Bayada is so big, we have so many offices. So if you decide that maybe a certain city would be better for you, you can definitely look there, get some more information.
You mentioned that you guys are in 23 different states.
23 different states.
But I guess at the same time, in each state has more than one office.
Because we have 360 locations. So 23 states, but 360 locations. So we have many, many offices.
Wow.
So, and it's great. I've had the fortune just now to see one of our Delaware offices, and it's beautiful, just as the city is as well. So we do have a lot of different offices. You could also reach out to your job coach or whoever is, I'm not sure how, Job Club is, but, you could always reach out to them and they can reach out to me and we can find a.
Or to the job developer there.
So that's it. That's all I have for my PowerPoint.
Okay, so just going back a little bit with the hiring process of Bayada. And just, like to make sure the clients, when they watch this video, they understand exactly like if they are interested in working as a caregiver or aide, know like ahead of time, like what the steps are, right? Especially when like you know already, because we have talked about this before. All our clients are, they're not from here, they didn't grow up here, they all coming from other countries, and a lot of them have been living in the United States for even like 1 month or just few months.
Yeah.
So they're not familiar with with a lot of elements that involve the US work culture, and how the hiring process is working in any company or organization in the United States. So having said that, going back to step one. So if I do want to apply because I would like to work as a caregiver, where do I apply?
So there's many different ways. We do have Indeed. I get a lot of my applicants from Indeed. So that's one way you can do it. If just like we did with Emma, which is one of the ones in NSC, she sent me an email. She let me know these individuals were interested and she sent me a resume. So usually I'll take it from there. So as a referral, I guess. So we can take referrals from NSC and I'll reach out and see, where they're able to fit.
And I'm guessing they can also apply through the website, right?
Yes, they can also apply through the website. So you can go to the same PowerPoint where it was jobs@bayada.com.
Okay, and just to like kind of clarify, let's see, like in my case, I don't have any experience in healthcare, not even close to it, but I still think it would be a good option for me. So it's okay for me to apply regardless. I do have a very good US resume or not. The work experience and my education is not doesn't obviously match to work for caregiver. So is that okay still to apply?
Yeah, so if you do not have the experience with home care, we do offer that training program. So that training program will teach you everything you need to know to start and are able to be a great caregiver for Bayada. So there's many opportunities at Bayada. I myself was a home health aide years ago. And then I ended up going to school and ended up coming back as a recruitment manager now. So there's definitely opportunity to grow within Bayada. So getting the experience is just one class away.
Okay, so I wouldn't get disqualified just for not having that home care background.
Having the home care experience, no.
Okay, so then we send the application, whether it's through a referral with one of our job developers, or applying for online Indeed or Bayada's website. So you guys get the resume, you guys revise the resume, do the resume screening, and the second phase would be the phone interview. That always happens, the phone interview?
Yes, because I do reach out to you, let you know, I just got your resume, just wanted to, talk to you and have a conversation, because that's usually when we set up an interview, we decide to proceed. So during the phone interview, I'll have your resume in front of me most of the time, and I'll be asking you, so what did you do at, your experiences, what are they? What did you enjoy about it? And if you don't have the experience, you tell me, I don't, but I really want to learn about, about home care. I really want to get into the healthcare field. So then stuff like that, we can go off from there. And depending on if you feel like you're a fit for Bayada, after I tell you a little bit about the position. So I hire field staff. So that's what I do. But it does not mean that that's home health aides or caregivers are the only people that we are hiring. You could still send me resumes to people who are looking to job upgrade or, different positions in Bayada. If they do find one, you could definitely reach out to your job developer and they can give me a call or send me an email, and I'll make sure the proper HR manager will reach out to them. So it's not just home health aide, caregiver that we're hiring for. We have field staff and we have office staff as well.
In that case, I think it would be wise to advise them, like if they're looking for other roles, like go to the website and check the jobs that you guys have available, and if they think they will be a good fit for one of those roles. So in that moment, so they can reach out to one of the job developers at NSC and send that application to you, but through them, right? It would make
so yeah, if they feel as though and they meet the qualifications for those jobs. So you definitely would have to be fluent in both languages, English and Spanish, or English in whatever language you do speak. So we do require that you have, fluency in both languages.
Okay. So after the phone interview, the third step is the in-person interview. How long they have to wait, or normally have to wait between the phone interview and the in-person interview?
So usually for me, within a day or two, depending on their availability, I'll schedule out an interview for that week or whenever they're available. Especially times like now, maybe there's not that much availability or options to go out, but usually I'll schedule them for a day or two out, depending on schedules, depending on my schedule, depending on when they are free and available to come.
And right now, so you guys have both ways to interview in person, so video and in-person interviews, right?
Yeah, so we do have Zoom interviews. So the Zoom interviews are a little different, so we don't have to schedule them out for the end of the week or for availability, because you can do it from the comfort of your home. So so with that, it really would just depend on when you can find a free space, because that is something that I do recommend, that you find a nice quiet spot to sit down, because it is an interview. So we want to make sure you keep your professionalism while on a Zoom interview. Just pretend that you're still sitting face to face with me, and I will definitely, like now, I'll be in a separate room to give you guys my undivided attention. So, but that is something that is offered quicker. So if you're available tomorrow and I don't have anything planned, then we can schedule a Zoom interview for the next day.
What is the type of questions candidates get asked during a job interview with you?
So it's more so about experiences. So I'll ask them, about their previous experiences, what they liked or disliked about your job, depending on the time frame that they have. So I do look at that, how long you've been at a job per se, and you can tell me why, why you decided you didn't want to continue there, or why, if you have home care experience, why Bayada? If you don't have the experience, why do you want to learn now? Something like you tell me,
right?
Getting you into the passion of healthcare now.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, I'll ask.
And any recommendations that you can provide to them in terms of how to prepare well for the job interview with you? It can be anything.
So proper attire, maintain clean professionalism when you're meeting with someone face to face. Same thing with Zoom interview. You want to make sure you have proper attire on. Punctuality is very important. So if your interview starts at 3:00, be there, maybe a couple of minutes before 3:00. I always anticipate, that things happen, we live in Philadelphia, there's traffic. SEPTA doesn't run as it should sometimes. So give yourself a little extra time. Get there on time. For Zoom as well. I'm very punctual, so I will be on Zoom waiting. So there is a grace period that I do give, but it's great to, be able to start right away when we're supposed to start. So punctuality, I think, is important.
Yeah, it makes sense. In the United States, for sure, it's like one important element, right? So if I'm going to an in-person job interview with you, should I bring my resume with you to you?
In my personal experience, I've always brought a resume handy, just so that, the recruiter can take notes. Sometimes I myself, when I used to go on interviews, I used to always bring a resume, even though they may have it. So I think it would be good if they bought one, just in case.
If for some reason I'm running late or an emergency came up, what would be your best suggestion?
So if you know that you're going to be running late, as soon as you know that you're going to be late, I would call the office and let them know, I am running late. I'll be there at this time. Is that still okay for me to come? Most of the time, I'll say yes, and I'll say, okay, that's right. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I'll be waiting for you. Or if you can let me know the day before, sometimes things happen. You weren't feeling well the night before. I am available via email. So email is important. I'm always checking my email. So you can send an email, or, you can give a call and let your recruiter know that you're running late or you're not feeling well, you won't be coming in. So that way we know to reschedule.
So keeping the communication channel is very important. Okay, so that's step 3, the in-person job interview. Then you said if that person passed the in-person job interview, so the next step is the clearances. And what else you mentioned?
The work references.
So that would be step 4 and 5, or they're like the same time?
I do them all together, because in order for me to set you up with either class or to come in for skills, I'd have to have your work references and your clearances all in order for us to proceed with that. Because with the class or with skills, you're pretty much already hired. You're hired already. You just have to either go through the class or do the skills with the nurse, and then you proceed to orientation.
Professional references. So how many do they need to provide?
They need 2. So 2 work references if they have it here in the United States. I know a lot of people do have a lot of work experience, just not in the States. So we do ask for 2 professional references, which can be from the NSC, and 1 from the nurse that we'll give here if you take the class. So if you're coming in with the class and you don't have, let's just say, the 12 months here in the States, we'll need 2 from you guys. Or if they have someone who they used to work with here in the States. Sometimes they do have a job for maybe the 2-3 months that they were here in the States. They can also count as a professional reference. So we do ask for 2.
Okay. And the clearances, can you mention them once again?
So it's your background check, your criminal background check. So it's the police criminal background check, and the child abuse clearance. And FBI fingerprinting is something that we do. That's just another background check. It's just outside of PA, it goes in all the states. We get you set up to go and do fingerprinting. We are the ones who, depending on the offices, but for field staff, for example, my office, we are the ones that do pay for those clearances.
I know that can be different depending on the organization.
Yes, it depends on
employers, sometimes
different office.
Okay. So after that, so normally how long it takes, like that phase?
So it really depends on how long I can get how fast I can get the references. Background checks sometimes I can get it instantly, or sometimes it'll take maybe a week or 2. So it really just depends on how the background systems are feeling that day. But I would like to say within 1 to 2 weeks, if that, for everything to get done. We usually try to process everybody really fast. So it really does vary on, what we're waiting for.
So I guess they cannot do anything else in the meantime. They just gotta wait during that period.
Yeah, during that time, yeah. So, if they are looking for work app references, like if they do have the 1 year in the States, and they're having a hard time getting that's something they could do. They could reach out to their supervisor. Hey, I did apply somewhere. Can you, give them a call, or maybe fill out that form. That there's a form that I do send out that I had sent to you and Emma. So that needs to be filled out, or they need to return my phone call, because I can do that, via phone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's something they could do if that's an option. If not, then usually they would have to wait. I do update, so you can always call or email me if you would like an update, and I'll let you know that we're still pending. Okay. But as soon as everything comes through, I'll be giving a call, scheduling for either class, skills, or orientation, depending on what level they are at.
Okay, yeah. So after that is done, so they are ready to start the onboarding process. So for the direct hires, what do they do? I'm sorry.
The direct hires is I'll have them and I'll schedule them to come meet with our RN, and they will go over all the skills that they should know if they have worked in home care. So it'll teach you how to be a great caregiver. So pretty much we do give a test. It's a competency test that we give our home health aides. They will have to take that and pass that. And the nurse pretty much goes over all the skills they need to go through. And if they pass, the nurse lets me know that they're a go. And we usually schedule you for orientation that day. That week.
So that is just like 1 day thing.
Yeah.
In case they don't pass, what
In
happens?
case they don't pass, usually the nurse will go over it with them. It depends on what they get wrong or what are the things they're struggling in. If they don't pass, they may have to take the class. So
Okay.
it's not that you don't get the position, you'll just have to take the class so they can go over and make sure that you have the skills necessary to be a good caregiver for us.
And the class is the one that is being designed for those hires who don't have prior experience, right? In home care.
Yes.
So that, how long is that training?
Typically it's Monday through Friday. So it's a 1 week training. And our orientation is usually we'll try to make it that Friday, or maybe we'll make it on Monday. It depends on how big our class is.
Okay, so it's a training plus 1 day of orientation. And after that, so they they're good to start working.
So during orientation, they'll be meeting with the supervisors and they'll be assigned shifts. So they'll already be set with shifts to start working. There is some certain things that we do ask that they keep up with. But we'll teach that during orientation. We do have certain things that they have to update every year. That is per Bayada policies that we go over once they're hired.
Okay, and do they have to go through probation period?
So usually for most jobs, there is a probation period. So we are, I believe it's 90 days that we have for our probation period. 3 months. So that's that time where we're looking at your reliability, making sure that you're on time to your shifts. This is where, selling you punctual is it's a great thing. A lot of our clients, maybe they do live alone, and maybe you're the highlight of their day, that you're their company, you're their companion. And sometimes it's unfortunate, if you run late and they're waiting for you, or you don't give them a heads up. The office, you have to let the office know. Same thing with the interview. If you know that you are going to be running late, always call your supervisor and let them know, I'm going to be running later. If you're not feeling well the next day, the day before, communicate. We are always there for you. There's always somebody. We have supervisors that are there after hours, weekends, holidays. So there's always somebody there that you can call.
Okay. Well, that's great. And I think my last question would be for you. Could you talk a little bit about the benefits that Bayada offers?
Sure. So we do offer a medical plan for employees after, I believe it's after the probation period. I have to look exactly at the weeks. That's something that we go over in orientation. We do offer a presidential scholarship to our employees. They wouldn't qualify for this fall semester. Well, especially now with COVID, I'm sure that no one's going to be really doing in-person classes. So for the following fall, they would be eligible for that presidential scholarship to go back to school. We do offer PTO, so that's paid time off. We do have holiday pay. That's something that we do offer for our employees.
Well, that's great. So I guess I think I asked you that the amount of hours they work, it's going to depend on their availability.
So if you let us know, we do have flexible shifts. So if you let me know or let your supervisor know what hours you're willing to work and what days you're willing to work, we'll assign clients to you. Obviously, the more available you are, the more chances you are of getting more hours. So you do have the option to cover call outs. So you can be put on the list. If you say that this weekend you're not set to work, but you know that you're available to work. So you can let your supervisor know, I am free for call outs, because sometimes we do get call outs. So, and that's something that you can let your supervisor know if you're willing to cover call outs.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for all the information. So I think it is safe to mention again. So if any of you want to work for Bayada as a caregiver or aide, which is the same role, right? Just different ways to call it, right? I learned that. Thank you, Vanessa. So if they want to work for Bayada as a caregiver, as an aide, so you just have to reach out to me, or you will have to reach out to one of the job developers, and they will be sending your resume to Vanessa. And then that would be like the first step to start the hiring process. in case of those clients who are interested in working other type of jobs, but at Bayada, so it would be better to check the website and look for the jobs that are available right now, and after that, so they can send the let us know and include like the role that they would like to apply, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it will make more
So
sense.
it's good that they go and they look at the role. If if you do have a degree or you have education and good amount of experience and you're looking for a different position in Bayada, definitely look at the positions we have open and definitely pay attention to the requirements. So that's something that we
to make sure that they are a good fit for that position, right? Something I read, I don't think you got the chance to mention that yesterday during Job Club or today during the video, but I think it works. It really it would be really important to mention it. It's like Bayara is being like for 2 years in a row. I think 2018 and 19 one of the best employers in the United States from Glassdoor, right?
Yeah, we are one
I think that's amazing. That says
it is,
a lot about Bayada as an employer.
So they do take care of their employees. I mean, for example, like I mentioned before, I was a home health aide and I decided to come back. Like I never left. So the experience here is great. It's great. They are a great employer.
Yeah, I really wanted to share that information because I mean, knowing that I'm going to apply and hopefully being an employee from Bayada, and Bayada is now one of the best employers in the United States, I think that it worth to mention.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, well, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed all the information that Vanessa shared with us today. And like once again, if you guys are interested, please let me know or one of the job developers know. And now you guys know that Bayada is one of the employers that are working with our Department of Employment Services. So thank you so much for watching this video, and hope you find all this information very helpful. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Vanessa. Bye-bye.